Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther Madera Johnson. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about everything that all of us do every single day. Make decisions. Some decisions will change the trajectory of your life completely. And that's what happened to me. What is my story today? I lost my entire life saving, my retirement money, if I can say it like that. So I'll take you back to where it all began. I'd been working in the bank for over 10 years, and I had a 2-bedroom apartment that was fully paid for. I was raising my son. I was a single parent then. So I got laid off. Yes. That was around 2005, 2006. I got laid off. Yeah, it was pretty tough. You know, when you have worked for a company for over 10 years, you sort of lose your identity, and it's not just a paycheck that you're losing a part of yourself, you know. And that's what happened to me. But thankfully, I had my apartment. I had, you know, some of the retirement money that I was given as a lump sum, and I had my son. So I'm now at home. I'm thinking, what should I do? I just can't sit. So I went to South Africa, because everybody, you know, even now, people are still going and trying to do whatever it is that they can do. So I went there in the hopes of, you know, trying to see how things are and if I can settle and hopefully bring my son. I've always had that attitude, you know, call me a dog as long as you give me my money, I don't care. So I went in. I was a maid. I was staying where I was working, which was perfect. So, you know, from talking with these people, it was the husband was Indian and the woman was mixed race. They actually lived in Pretoria. Yeah, that was in Pretoria. Within a week, you know, from just talking with them, and they were like, oh, you speak very well. So what were you doing in Zimbabwe? And I told her, I just left the bank. I worked for Standard Chartered Bank. She was like, what? I said, yeah. She said, listen, my husband's friend, some Indian dude, was actually looking for a receptionist. Do you think you can do it? I was like, heck yeah, I can do it. So she spoke to her husband, and they organized a meeting with the friend, which was welcome. I mean, this was huge for me. So we met up, and I was going to start work very soon. And lucky for me, he had like an apartment upstairs, so I was going to stay there, so I didn't have to worry about transport. But the problem came because I still did not have my paperwork to legally work and live in South Africa. So every month I had to get my passport across the border to get stamped. And that was becoming very costly because I wasn't earning a lot of money, you know. So I did it for a few months, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was so exhausting. I just said, you know what, let me go back home. After all, I had a fully paid for apartment. So I went back home, and when I was in South Africa, I was renting out my apartment to pay school fees for my son. And he was staying with one of my sisters. Thank goodness for family. But I decided, let me go back home and see what I can do. After all, I had money that I had invested. So I went back, and this is where everything changes. So in 2000, I think it was around 2006, 7, thereabouts. This is when I think, I don't quite remember, but I think this is the time that we were starting to really experience those fuel shortages and all that jazz. So I saw that as an opportunity. But I didn't know anybody who could connect me. I could see the opportunity, but I didn't know how and where I could get this fuel. So that's when I thought of my friend. I thought of this friend we had grown up with back in Chitungwiza. He was actually quite close to my younger sisters than me, but I knew him as, a person who could get stuff. So I got in touch with him. I actually looked for him. At that time, he was into fuel. We were hearing that he was moving huge amounts of fuel. So I thought, wow, this is a person I know, we grew up together. So he's the man. So I called him up and he said he knew how to get fuel. He was into the fuel business. So I said to him, what's the best way to do this? And he said, you know what, with fuel, you have to move volumes and you have to move quick, because this won't be like this for long. And it's true, in Zimbabwe, things change very fast. So I was like, oh my gosh, we have to move. So I told my sister was also up for it. She also had some money in the same investment company that I had mine. So I pulled out all my money because I was not employed. I thought this was it. So I thought, my gosh, I have to go in all the way before this thing gets shut down. So we were going to get hundreds of drums. We were going to get hundreds of drums of fuel. This guy had all the connections. He knew the suppliers. So all I needed to do was just trust him. And so I did. Remember, all this money, this was my retirement fund. This was everything from my layoff, all my savings, my safety net, my son's future security. I gave it all to him. And I never saw him again. Up to today, I have never heard back from him. It's almost 20 years now. No call, no text, no explanation, no apology. Crickets. He vanished with my money. So when you lose money like that, the pain is not just from losing the money. I mean, it is, because that was my life savings. That was my retirement money, my son's future security. It was everything. I had worked all that time building on this amount. And for somebody to just take it and vanish, that was painful. I would be laying there, awake, replaying everything. How did I miss it? But thank God I still had the apartment. So why am I sharing this story with you today? I mean, this is one of the lowest moments in my life. One of. But there's somebody out there who is in my 2005 shoes. right now as we speak, who is experiencing this, or who is about to make this same mistake that I made. This video is for you to learn from my mistakes. You know, they say wise people learn from other people's mistakes. So don't wait to learn from your mistake, because it is costly and it's painful. So learn from this experience that I'm sharing with you. So I want to tell you about the mistakes that I made, and then I'll go into the lessons, because I did learn. This was actually, in a way, I feel like it happened so that I could also learn. I couldn't have learned some of the lessons that I learned from this. This had to happen for me to learn those lessons. So I have a few mistakes that I'm going to share with you. So the first mistake that I made, I was desperate. Never make a decision when you're desperate, especially financial. Don't do it. I invested from desperation, not strategy. You know, when you're in survival mode, every opportunity looks like salvation. You won't be thinking clearly when you are desperate. Your judgment is clouded. So you need to take a step back, take a deep breath. And I had no business plan. I didn't research. I didn't even understand the risks of this industry. I just saw dollar signs and I went with it. My second mistake, I put all my eggs in one basket. I gave everything to this person. Everything. Putting it into fuel I did not even understand. Sometimes when I think about it, I just feel like, Esther, what were you doing? But anyway, even if the deal had been legit, it was reckless. My whole move was just reckless. So my mistake number 3, I trusted history over due diligence. Blind trust. You know, when you grow up with someone, the way you were as kids is not how we are all now as adults. We develop into the people that we become. As kids, we're being guided, we're being told what to do. Now we're making our own decisions. We become our own people. So don't use the history that you have as kids to make huge financial decisions. And that's what I did. You know, I didn't even ask the hard questions. I didn't ask for proof. I didn't ask for documentation, proof of the connections, to see the suppliers. I didn't. I just went with what he said and trusted him. But that's what happens in life. When you trust someone, you make bad decisions sometimes. And the mistake number 4 that I made, this one, even today, somehow in Zimbabwe, I don't know what it is. No paper trail. I've been doing business with people in Zimbabwe right now. They just don't document stuff. Even when you give them money, a business, they don't document stuff. So here, We had no contract, we had nothing in writing, no receipts for that lump sum amount of money that I gave him. No receipt, no proof. So I had no legal recourse because there was nothing to pursue. It was just going to be my word against his. So yeah, mistake number 5, my 5th mistake. You know, situations always present you with red flags. There are always red flags. But what do we do? You know, you get vague answers to specific questions. Rush timelines, pressure to move quickly. Oh, you're going to miss this opportunity. We have to move like now. And that's exactly what he told me. He was like, you know, with this fuel thing in Zimbabwe, things are always changing. So you have to move quick. When it changes, at least you will have your hundreds of barrels, drums, whatever. And I was like, this is such a brilliant idea. So you see the mistakes that I made. I know a lot of these sound familiar to somebody right now. You know, you move quickly because for me, I wanted this to work so bad that I would explain away those red flags. Somebody's doing it right now. Please learn from these 5 mistakes that I made. Learn from them. Now I'm going to tell you the lessons that I learned from my own experience, this very experience. So your value is not equal to your bank account. Listen, when this happened to me, I lost all that money. I thought I had lost everything. But I still had my mind. I still had my skills, my work ethic. I still could solve problems. With money, it comes and it goes, but who you are is permanent. Lesson number 2. Trust is earned. Good people, trust is earned. It is not inherited. We should learn to separate sentiment from business. Even with relatives, I see this so many times because of this diaspora thing going on. You know, because you can't be there, so people send money to purchase land, to start projects, to do whatever, which is good. That's how it should be. But I'm sure you've also heard of stories where somebody was sending money to build a house, and they were shown pictures of a house, and then they come back after 6-7 years of working hard and sending money. They're thinking, oh, my house is now finished, now I can retire. They go back and there's no house. The house they'd been shown was just a random house or a house next door. Just imagine. So even with relatives, you need to have a paper trail. You need to do that. And if somebody is not interested in paperwork, then that's a red flag. Because I feel like it's easier for everyone. Because you, as the person handling the projects back home, you don't want to be accused of spending somebody's money or stealing. You know, you don't want to be accused of stealing money. So for me, I would want to have it in black and white and have a spreadsheet or something and show what's happening to money, keep receipts, match them against your spreadsheet, and there are no issues. But if somebody doesn't want to have that transparency, then there is a problem. And when you are doing business, treat it as a business. I see in Zimbabwe right now, we have a long way to go. There are a lot of moms and pups popping up, and things are not being done professionally. It's word of mouth. You can't even get a contract. You just get a WhatsApp message, or this is what you're going to need, and you send Echo Cash, and that's it. Of course, the Echo Cash has proof that you made this payment, but still you need a receipt. Things must be proper. So lesson number 3, due diligence. Yeah, this one should be taught, because people have lost properties in Zimbabwe. Oh my gosh, you've seen the demolitions, you've seen after people had built these mansions. I think it's the Zimbabwean thing, and I did it. Due diligence is not optional. You need to research everything. Now that's what I try to do. I research everything. I ask the hard question, verify information, involve experts in that industry, and take your time. Don't be rushed. Due diligence can take time, because verifying all these things, getting experts, it takes time. Involve lawyers if you have to. Never put your resources in one basket. Life will knock you down. And the question will be, will you have something to stand back up on when life does that? Because it's not if, it's when. When it knocks you down, it happens. Lesson number 5, forgiveness. Yes, this one is tough. This is a very tough one, because when somebody does something like that to you, after saving money for so many years, they just, God knows what he did with it. I hope he went and bought something meaningful. Not spend it drinking or whatever, wasting it, because that's hard-earned money. But forgiving somebody who does that is very tough. But I forgive him. I do forgive him. It took me 2 decades. I have forgiven him, but obviously I don't forget. It's not something that you can forget, because it changes your life completely. But here you have to forgive, and I don't know where he is today. If he feels guilty, but I've forgiven him. And forgiveness it's for me, it's not for him. He doesn't deserve it. Because I realize that if I don't forgive him, it's almost like you are drinking poison, hoping the other person dies. You're killing yourself. The poison will kill you. So that's how I look at forgiveness. If you don't forgive somebody, it affects you while they're busy living their life wherever they are. My final lesson number 6. When you lose everything like that, your story is not over. My story is not over. I'm here. I'm still standing. I'm building. That loss didn't define me. When you lose something, that should not define you. How you respond to the loss is what defines you. Why am I telling you this? I've asked this question before. I'm not sharing this for pity or for sympathy or even to shame this friend. This is for you, for someone standing where I was 2005. You're in that desperate situation, looking for a way out. I've been there, and you saw the mistakes that I made. Slow down. That person offering you that perfect opportunity, just slow down. Ask the questions. Get it in writing. Protect your safety net. And don't rely on what you knew about that person. Rely on what you know now. Learn from my mistakes. So don't let that worst moment in your life be your last moment. You can lose everything and still rebuild. You can. You can be betrayed and you can trust again, only wiser this time. When we fall, we get back up. So if you're in your own loss right now, you will survive. You will learn, you will be stronger. I did it. I did it. I learned and now I try to be as careful. I mean, these scammers, they're very smart. We need to stay vigilant. Let's continue to be on the lookout and to just carefully go into these situations. Do your best. Yes, if they get you, but at least you can look back and say, I tried. I really did my best. I didn't do that with that deal. I just went in head first. All I can say is let's learn from each other. Let's learn from each other's scars. I've put my mistakes out there so that somebody can learn. Let's learn from that. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss when I post videos in the future. My next video is actually sort of a continuation of this one, but it's about another huge decision that I made in my life that changed everything.